Here's the situation. You're serious about your health and nutrition, but your partner isn't. Now, you're okay with this, but there's a problem. They've started becoming passive aggressive. And by passive aggressive, I mean they're hunting through your stuff and eating all your secret snacks. Today's story, my husband's eating habits are out of control. This is a new series where we talk about food, health, and habits, plus behavior change science through Reddit stories. Or maybe we're just hanging out and it's not that deep. I don't know, but before we get into it, a message from today's sponsor, Beam. When it comes to our daily habits, sleep is number one. Personally, I need like 8 hours or I'm completely useless. But 8 hours in bed and 8 hours of actually good sleep are two completely different things. That's the part nobody talks about. It's not always about getting more sleep, it's about getting better, deeper sleep when you're in the bed. That's where Beam's Dream comes in. Dream is basically a sleep time hot chocolate. You just mix it into hot water or milk, froth it up, and drink it about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. My favorite flavor by far is the chocolate batter brownie. It's only 15 calories and sugar-free. I personally love taking supplements, but hate taking pills. It's such a struggle for me as a wellness person. But Beam is warm and cozy. It's more like a treat than a pill, and most importantly, it works. Dream is made with magnesium, L-theanine, and reishi, ingredients that help your body wind down naturally without leaving you groggy the next morning. For me, I notice the effects pretty quickly. It doesn't make me feel super drowsy, but once my head hits the pillow, I fall asleep faster. True to the name, Dream, I've been dreaming more often and more vividly when I take it than when I don't. And I'm not the only one. 89% of people said Dream reduced their nighttime restlessness, and nearly 80% said they slept more deeply. I love it on nights where bedtime is slowly creeping up, but I'm not ready to sleep. It's sweet and cozy and helps keep my sleep schedule on track. And now that it's summer and a hot chocolate might feel a little bit crazy, you can make an iced Dream. Mix it as normal, pour it over ice, and then the most important step, put your phone in another room and go to sleep. So if you struggle with falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up exhausted, give Dream a try. For a limited time, head to shopbeam.com and use code Kiana for up to 42% off site-wide. That's shopbeam.com. Thanks to Beam for sponsoring this video. My husband's eating habits are out of control. So I used to be 301 pounds at 5'4". I've lost 185 pounds. Wow. I'm now at 116 pounds and 15% body fat per DEXA scan, from 300 pounds to 115 pounds. That is a crazy transformation. You'd basically have to become a completely different person to make that magnitude of a change. I'm also 41 female for reference. I strength train, lift weights, and I do cardio 6 days a week. My TDE is 2,600 calories a day. Okay, so this person, very serious, very dialed in, clearly has a strong grasp on what they're up to. Now that I'm trying to maintain and not lose anymore, I've allowed myself to have the occasional treat, with moderation, of course. I can make a box of Girl Scout cookies last 3 to 4 weeks. If I eat too much sugar or fat, it makes me very sick. So I'm very careful not to overindulge. Okay, so not only has this woman lost all this weight, but she's now at the level where she can keep treats, cookies in her house, and it's not a problem for her. It doesn't affect her. Now, behaviorally, when something is physically closer to you, you are more likely to consume more of it. It's called the proximity effect. The proximity effect is a behavioral science phenomenon where the physical or psychological distance between people or objects dictates human choices and interactions. It states that we are more likely to engage with, consume, or connect with things that are closer in space or time as it requires less effort. So typically, if you struggle with food in general, very helpful to reduce the proximity effect by not keeping junk food around. Doesn't mean you have to swear it off, but if you keep it further away from you, whether that means in your house or not in your house, that can be helpful. But yeah, back to OP, it just really speaks to the degree of transformation she's gone through. Like she's been through it and come out the other side already. So that's where she's at. The problem is my husband. He's very obese at 365 pounds and 6'3". He complains about his weight all the time, but refuses to do anything about it. Oof. Okay, immediately, if she had just said he's obese or overweight, that doesn't mean anything, right? But the fact that she already said he complains about his weight, but he refuses to do anything about it, that for me is already not a good sign. If you want to lose weight, lose weight. If you don't want to lose weight, don't lose weight, but then don't complain about it. I only make healthy meals at home, but I obviously can't control what he eats when he's out of the house, nor would I want to. So I buy these treats specifically for myself. I also buy treats for him, but I buy them separately so we each have our own. I'm also forced to hide mine because he will eat anything and everything, and he will eat the entire package within minutes/hours. Okay, so he's complaining about his weight, but then eating all of her snacks, and sounds like also requesting snacks to be brought into the house. I also buy healthy snacks like fruit, carrot sticks, celery, low-fat string cheese, cottage cheese, etc. He will eat a bit of the healthy ones if there's nothing else to eat. Lately, he's been finding my hidden snacks and eating them all. There's nothing worse than expecting a snack that you had planned for later or like leftovers, and then you go to eat them and someone else ate them. And for her, it's probably even worse because it sounds like she's so locked in that she likely had whatever Oreos or whatever she's planning to have accounted for in her calories, and then she goes to eat them and they're not there. Also, it's not hide and seek. I feel like if she hides them, don't go looking for them. When I ask why, he says that he knows I'm trying to be healthier, so I don't need them. He also cites the fact that they can make me sick if I eat too much, which I haven't done in a long time, ever since I figured out what the problem was. He also says they're tempting because I don't eat them fast enough, so they sit around, which is part of the reason I hide them, so he doesn't have to look at them. Okay, so he's making excuses because he has a problem. Case closed. Maybe he hasn't like come to terms with it, but it sounds like he's making excuses, and or maybe he doesn't have an answer for why he's eating all your snacks. I even showed him what I bought and specifically which snacks are his and which are mine, and I label them and tell him not to eat mine. Yet he does anyway. The other day I bought a package of Milano cookies for us to share, and he ate them all before I could tell them they were for sharing. It took him maybe 5 to 10 minutes to eat the entire package. Okay, so obviously this guy has a problem he needs to figure out. It's kind of weird that OP is like surprised that her husband is eating all the snacks when that's clearly his pattern of behavior, you know what I mean? And to me, I don't know, it's kind of like fair enough. You guys were both overweight when you met. OP has done a lot of inner work to get to like a new level for herself, but she can't really expect her partner to suddenly be on that same level. Even if he had been on a weight loss journey with her, I mean, a lot of people will never be able to keep junk food in the house. A lot of skinny people don't even keep junk food in the house because it just negatively impacts them. Even if he had been on a weight loss journey with her, everybody's different. I mean, it's not necessarily the case that he would be able to keep cookies in the house and not have a bad reaction to them at the end of his journey. OP has gone through the journey, come out the other side, and she has a lot of self-control now. Some people just don't or won't get on that same level, and I think that's fair. But with that being said, I feel like him having issues with food does not excuse his behavior because she is explicitly asking him not to do something and he's doing it anyway. Like, I want to know what he says when she explicitly says, yeah, but I asked you not to do that, so why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, she said, please don't. He did it anyway. As a couple, they can't seem to have a conversation about this very small thing. There's basically two situations here. Either he's so far in denial about his food issues that whenever she brings it up, all he can do is deflect. Or he's just not listening at all and doesn't care at all about his partner's needs. Either way, it's not great. I'm at my wit's end. I don't really care that he's obese besides the fact that it's unhealthy. I still love him and I'm attracted to him, but now I'm losing attraction to him and feeling resentful and disgusted by this behavior. I'm like that too. I personally do not find someone being overweight or obese even unattractive. Weight really does not matter to me much physically at all. But that being said, I couldn't have and I wouldn't have a partner who wasn't willing to try to take care of their health. Especially, she said they're like 40 years old. Shit is gonna start to hit the fan soon if you don't start taking care of your health now. Like in a relationship, if one of you cares about your health a lot and you're doing a lot of exercise and you're eating right and the other one doesn't, right? Let's just say you have all the worst habits in the world. Maybe you smoke, you drink, you don't exercise. If you have one person who's a health nut and one person who's has really bad habits, you're going to be living two completely different lives very, very, very soon. And in this relationship, obviously we know nothing about it other than OP is complaining on Reddit. But I mean, this woman went from 300 pounds to 115 pounds and 15% body fat. That is no small feat. She's now spending 6 days a week at the gym. And you have to wonder if this couple is even compatible at all at this point, if he is still in the phase where he's like completely in denial about his problem. And again, it's a lot about his attitude and its mentality. I mean, if we think about OP, this level of transformation, it's got to have taken what? Like minimum 2 years, like probably more like 5+ years if she's both lost all that weight and she has no problem like keeping cookies in the house after she says later that she has a food addiction. But what I'm saying is she's been at this for a while. If her husband was going to make a change along with her, he wouldn't still be in the denial phase. Like if you have someone in your life who you are hoping will get healthy, let me show you the stages of change model. So according to one popular theory of changing your habits or behavior, people go through the following stages when they try to change their lifestyle. So at the top here, we have the pre-contemplation phase. This is when someone has no intention to change their behavior. This is where denial would live. So we have pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and relapse. And even though pre-contemplation is at the top here, the wheel doesn't really get started until contemplation, because once you're aware that you actually have a problem, that's when the ball potentially can get rolling. At the pre-contemplation phase, as it says here, you have no intention of changing your behavior. And denial is like literally the deepest form of pre-contemplation. This person seems to be not ready to admit that they have an issue, which by definition means they're not ready to change their life and it's not going to be happening anytime soon. So if you know anyone who you in your life, maybe someone in your family who you're hoping that they'll make a change, if they're in this stage, it's not likely. And you can't make someone else change. They have to want it for themselves. Okay, sorry, back to the story. He also complains that I'm too skinny, but even if I wanted to gain weight, how could I when he eats everything except celery and fruit? Yeah, that would be so annoying. I don't know what to do besides putting my food in a lockbox or something, and that would probably piss him off as well. Okay, I mean, if there's nothing you can do, like you can't have a conversation about it, it definitely goes beyond the snacks. I'm literally contemplating divorce because of this. There are other issues not related to food or health, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like this isn't just about him eating too much. It's disrespectful because he knows it's mine, and the fact that I just bought it and he eats the entire thing anyway. Doesn't even leave me a single piece, just eats all of it. Yeah, it's disrespectful. It's super inconsiderate. And the audacity to complain that she's too skinny when you're eating all her snacks. And the thing is, the bigger issue here, it's been the bigger issue the whole time. If the person that you married is not hearing you when you say, please don't eat my snacks, what else are they not hearing? It's a pretty tiny request, right? Here's your snacks. Here's my snacks. Just leave me one. I know this is a Reddit post, but like, I don't even know how you get married if your communication styles are this bad. OP, I feel like she's giving me signs that her communication is bad too. Not that we can tell from this, but that's the vibes I'm getting. I'm aware of food addiction. I have that problem myself and I've worked hard to correct it. I feel like his issue is beyond just simple addiction. Either that or it's a very extreme form of addiction. He also refuses therapy for his issues. What should I do? I would say confront him with everything. And if he can't have an open, real conversation about it and he won't talk to the therapist, there's literally nothing you can do. I'll say it again. If someone does not want to change or they're not even willing to be honest with themselves, which is step one, you cannot make them change, as sad as it is. And also, if they don't care enough to even leave you just like one of your own snacks, okay, no one's addiction is that bad. Like, it's not like he's eating them all and saying, I'm so sorry, or like, I'll replace them and then bringing them back. He's just eating them all, not caring, and that's it. It just kind of says a lot about maybe everything else that this person doesn't care about. You know what I mean? ETA, he also refuses to see the doctor. He has sleep apnea and hypertension, but refuses treatment for those. So it's doubtful he'd be willing to use a GLP-1 or any other medication. He has said he'd be interested in this weight loss support center in our city, but he's not made the effort to look into it further. I feel like OP has outgrown her husband. He won't go to therapy. He won't go to the doctor for his existing health issues. He complains about his weight but has no interest in making a change, and he eats all her snacks and doesn't say sorry. And she's a health and fitness freak who's changed everything about your life. Now that obviously doesn't make you like automatically like a good person or something, but it does indicate discipline, grit, and I think one of the biggest things in it definitely indicates facing your demons. Anyone who's lost a lot of weight will tell you it's about way more than calories in, calories out. It's often being honest with yourself for the first time in a long time. It's becoming more self-aware. It's like all those moments where you're like, I can't live like this anymore and I will do anything to make a change. It's all that emotional stuff, and then it's all the work that you do afterwards. Like, for all we know, this woman's been doing intensive therapy for years now in addition to everything, right? Like, there's a lot that goes into making this big of a change. So she's been off doing all that. Meanwhile, her husband can't even say sorry for eating your snacks. Okay, comments. He really sounds like he has a food addiction, or word I can't say, but that does not excuse him stomping on your boundaries like he is. I suggest he get into therapy and you guys have a very long, hard talk. Edit. Just saw he refused therapy. My bad. Long, hard talk and reassessing your boundaries it is, because it's not just about the yogurt here, honey. Yeah, I mean, it's just rude. It's just rude. Totally agree. I had a food addiction, and as a child, I would eat my mom's stuff because it would be very visible and I didn't have self-control. When my sense of empathy developed more, I would still have a problem with eating it, even though I was trying not to, but I always made sure to replace with my own pocket money immediately. He's going out of his way to do this. He's a grown man and even doubles down when confronted and refuses change or help. It shows a complete lack of empathy and respect. I 100% agree with OP. Considering a divorce, I wouldn't stay with someone like this. Like this person said, grown man, can't even talk about it at all. Recently had a friend share why they broke up with their partner. If I didn't break up, he would have brought me down with him. He was so unwilling to help himself, I couldn't watch it or let him take me down too. Despite the fact that my friend did everything he could, gave tips, offered therapy, nothing stuck. His partner was simply unwilling to help himself. While what happened between them had nothing to do with food, eating, or the like, I see the same concepts here. The helplessness, complaining, woe is me attitude, and then doing nothing to fix it. Can be an explanation, but it's not an excuse for stealing your food. It's so true. It's about being willing to try and work on your stuff. If she had said he's trying and failing, that is a completely different thing, but that is not what was said. And a really important thing that this person brought up too, one partner can absolutely bring down another partner. There are many studies about this exact thing. The influence of partners' behavior on health behavior change. A number of studies have shown that spousal behavior status is a strong predictor of health behavior change, with more people more likely to improve their behavior if their partner's behavior is healthy and more likely to adopt unhealthy behaviors if their partner's behavior is unhealthy. Spouse behavior is considered as an important risk factor for adopting, continuing, or relapsing to poor health behaviors. Of anyone in your life, your spouse has the potential to impact your behavior more than anyone else. So obviously the best case scenario is you grow together. And if not, it's really gonna be an uphill battle all the time you're together. Anyway, next story. I figured we would continue with the husband theme because this next story was posted just a couple of days ago. My ex-husband left me because he was no longer attracted to me. I gained roughly 50 pounds during our marriage and after having our child. Losing weight was one of the most difficult challenges I have completed. My ex-husband put me down a lot during this time. Right after you had his child, you mean? That time where you were carrying extra weight because you gave birth to a human? Oh, okay. That's when this guy was putting you down? He would call me fat ass when he was mad at me. He joked and referred to me as the fat lady when we had a holiday party in front of everyone. It was so embarrassing. Okay, and everyone was okay with that. I feel like in most public spaces, if you talked about your wife like that, most people are gonna turn and look at you and be like, who do you think you are? Apologize to your wife immediately. And I feel like you would be lucky if that's all they said to you. Like, I cannot imagine a public space where people are like, okay with that. I cried so many times because of the way I look. Everyone was telling me I was fat. My ex-husband, my family, some of my friends, random people I haven't seen in years. What? It's because everyone was so used to seeing me skinny and it was like a total shock to everyone when I was 160 pounds. I'm 5'2" if you're all are wondering. Maybe this person like lives in a country where it's common or like socially acceptable, because I can't imagine a scenario where you would gain weight and random people you haven't seen in years would come up to you and be like, whoa, or like your family, your friends, everyone saying rude comments to you when you're like struggling to get off your postpartum weight gain. I can't, it doesn't make sense to me. Unless you live in a country where that's way, way, way more common, and then it makes more sense. But here, I just don't see it happening. I still remember the nights we would have sex. He wanted the lights off because looking at me was hard. He didn't straight up say that, but made comments that was so obvious that's why he wanted the lights off and wanted me to keep most of my clothes on. One time he was drunk and we were having sex and he told me, damn, stop jiggling so much, your stomach is just going all over the place. And I remember crying to the bathroom and we didn't speak for days. Okay, I regret talking about the story. Also, I respect the idea that we're all attracted to different things, right? Fair enough. But this has nothing to do with that. And this guy is just an asshole. And I would say that it's better that you found out now, but it sounds like you guys just had a kid together, in which case it's actually kind of the worst time to figure this out. But like, imagine looking over at your pregnant wife and thinking, wow, she really needs to lose a few. I get it's post-pregnancy, but something about this story makes me feel like it's just not that long afterwards. An important PSA, okay? If you are dating someone who talks to you like this at all or puts you down in any way, this may sound like it's common knowledge, but it's absolutely not. People talking shit to you is not something that they do when they love you. Like, if your man doesn't care about you enough to not protect your feelings during your post-baby weight gain era, then he probably doesn't love you, or in this case, even like you enough not to shatter your feelings at every possible opportunity. Anyways, my ex eventually left me because I was failing to lose weight. I would say I would try, give up. He got tired of it, he left. I was devastated. I lost my self-respect and actually begged him to stay with me. Eventually, I stopped, accepted my new reality. I did end up losing a little over 50 pounds. My ex-husband complimented me for the first time in a long time. He told me I looked good. I told him he didn't. I heard from mutuals he's telling people, oh, they always want to get hot and fit after they get single, but never want to look good during the relationship. The thing is, chronic stress, such as the type you might experience when you're married to a man who's constantly putting you down for your weight, and you're raising a baby together for the first time, all of that definitely makes it difficult to stick to healthy lifestyle behaviors. Chronic stress is linked to an increase in unhealthy food consumption, a decrease in healthy food consumption. It's also linked to a decrease in physical activity and disrupted sleep. So it's a perfect storm for struggling to lose weight postpartum. And in a way, it kind of means that he's partially to blame for the problem that he's complaining about. I didn't realize how much of an ass he was until after the divorce. It's scary that I didn't realize I was in an abusive relationship sooner. Now, I know this woman said that she was thin her entire life before that. I feel like if you have low self-esteem or self-respect to begin with, it's really, really easy to be in a toxic relationship with someone and not even realize that it's toxic because you agree with some of what they're saying. So because you're judging yourself so harshly already, you can't even fully tell that what this person is doing is not right. And I know that this woman implied that she had been thin her entire life, but I have a feeling this happens a lot to women who've struggled with their weight throughout their lives. Maybe I'm just projecting, but I feel like I've seen enough stories to know that it's super common for girls who've struggled with their weight to date men who are outright mean to them because they think it might come with the territory, which is not at all true. Get out while you can, you will be a lot happier. I've been dating and it feels great to be told I have a great body and that I'm beautiful. I never got this many compliments when I was married. That's the sad part. My ex-husband, on the other hand, has been dating a girl, and I say girl because she's 21, and my ex-husband is 35. And his girlfriend is definitely under 100 pounds, and she's an inch or two taller than me. I just hope he isn't putting her through the same thing he put me through. She does know our story too, and for some reason she still wants to be with him, but whatever, that's not my problem. Yeah, for some people it does go beyond, I'm not attracted to you. It's, I'm broken inside, and I need you to be broken too. My ex admitted to tearing me down, attacking my self-worth and self-esteem just so he could be the hero and lift me back up and save me. Some men are truly monsters. Now, to be fair, I feel like some people are monsters. Some men are bad for sure, but some women are just as bad. There's this funny clip I saw just a week ago about this. Let's watch it.
If when you're in a relationship, what are some of the techniques that you'll use to nag the guy so we can look out for those as men?
I don't know. Just lower his self-esteem, I guess. Calling him names or something.
Those are some of the things you've done with him in the past?
Yeah, I guess.
What are some of the mean things that you've said to your boyfriend, even though he's doing his best?
If they have a dream or something, try to insult that to kind of get them down, I guess.
Just tell him you're nobody, your rap career is not going to work out. What's the ultimate goal? Just to keep him in a constant state of depression?
I guess kind of make them doubt themselves about who they are as a person and their own personalities and stuff like that, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. That's great. We'll watch out for that.
And on that note, I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this random video. I'm working on a bunch of really deep research projects right now, and I'm hoping they'll come out kind of soon, so look out for those. Also, if you haven't yet seen my Muscle Mommy X protein snacks video, I think that you'll enjoy it. So check it out.